So in this part of the notes, we're going to go through examples 1, 2, 3 here. In this first example, we're supposed to determine which quadrant each angle lies in. And I forgot to talk about the quadrants. That's probably what this was for. This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. They make if you think about it, they make a C going counterclockwise. So that's how I remember it as quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so determine which quadrant. So 3 pi over 4. So I'm going to count. I would basically, if I was doing this without the pictures that are already there, I'd divide the top half into 4 wedges. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 wedges over. So I know it's in quadrant 2. I'm going to use I'll draw it out one more time. So 11 pi over 6. So 11, I got to draw the top half into 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, not done yet. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I know that 11 pi over 6 would be right here in the fourth quadrant. And then negative 2 pi over 3, I'm going to take these wedges, but I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I know I've got to divide the bottom into 3 wedges. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to count 1, 2 in the negative direction. So I know I landed in quadrant 3. Now we're going to sketch the angle in standard position. So I'm going to draw myself an XY axis. And again, I'm going to count the wedges. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would probably just trace on top of that. And then I always draw an arrow with the angle for where I should be. I'm going to do this again here. I've got to divide. I've got to go negative in the negative direction. I got to divide into 4 wedges on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going this direction here. Again, I would draw my initial side, my terminal side, and the arrow to show me which direction I am going. And then finally, can we determine 2 coterminal angles in radian measure, one positive and one negative? So what coterminal means is they land on the same spot. So either you're going to add 2 pi or subtract 2 pi. We've got 3 worlds we typically work in. So when we are in over 3 world, okay, 2 pi would be 6 pi over 3 because I'm multiplying by the 2 pi by 3 to get that common denominator, or to get that common fraction. In over 4 world, I would have 8 pi over 4, and in over 6 world, I'd have 12 pi over 6. So it could be positive or negative. So I'm typically going to work with those. So right now I'm in over 3 world, so I'm going to go plus my 2 pi, and over 3 world is 6 pi over 3. So I've got 7 pi over 3 as a coterminal angle. If I'm going to get a negative one, I am going to try to subtract these. So I'm going to subtract 6 pi over 3. And that means that I now have negative 5 pi over 3. In this one here, I've already got a negative one. So I'm going to, instead of subtracting, I'm going to try adding first and see what happens. Just see what happens. And I'm over 6 worlds, so I've got 12 pi over 6. So negative 7 pi over 6 plus 12 pi over 6 would be 5 pi over 6. So I got a positive one and I need a negative one, so I'm going to subtract. So minus 12 pi over 6, which is going to give me negative, make sure my arithmetic's right, negative 19 pi over 6.